So these might look like outdated bulky beasts from the 70s and 80s, but by the end of today's video, I'm gonna show you how each one has become a stunning modern showpiece that could walk straight into a design magazine or into your own home. Now I know what you're thinking, old furniture can feel really intimidating. The size, the heavy details, all the chunky trim that you don't know what to do with. But I promise these transformations are proof with just a little bit of vision and the right techniques, you can do all of this too. So do me a favor today, go grab that cup of coffee, get cozy, and spend a few minutes with me. I'm gonna take you through my 5 favorite 2 to 3 day flips and all the lessons that came along with them. Let's get started. Let's kick this off at one of my favorite stores. I visited my local Habitat store and couldn't believe it when I stumbled upon this beautiful pedestal table on clearance for $30. I've had my eye on one of these for a while because I've been wanting to recreate this Haverty's table, but this $2,000 price tag, I knew that I could find one and probably make it over, and this totally fit the bill, so let's get going. This table had been well loved in the past, so I got out my simple green just to make sure that everything had a really good deep clean before I got started. There was lots of fingerprints on it, grease, grime, you name it, it was there, stuck on food, etc. You get the point. So I did a really good clean with the simple green and really hot water before we moved on to the next step. I used a product called QCS Finish Remover to help strip off some of this failing finish, and then wrapped everything in plastic wrap so I had plenty of time to work, which means less effort for me. When I got my set of detail brushes, it came with this one, which I really don't use very often. So I thought, let's use this to remove all of this stain. The bristles are pretty densely packed and they're pretty stiff, so it should do a really good job. We're gonna try this and see if we can make it go a little faster. That QCS strip well managed to make really quick work out of the bottom, so now I'll just repeat that process on the top. Now that the previous finish has been removed, I'm using some pre-stain just to help prep this old wood and make sure that whatever I do next is going to absorb evenly. To get the color of that Haverty's table that I liked, I'm going to have to do 2 different stains. So I'm starting with Bearthane's Weathered Wood, and I'll apply 2 good coats of this, and the weathered wood has a little bit of gray in it, which helps mask some of these red tones. Now that I've eliminated some of those orangey tones, I'm going in with the color Espresso on my staining pad to just give it that rich, warm, chocolatey feel that I'm going for. Since this is a kitchen table that's going to see a lot of use, I'm going to use some Varathane polyurethane and a water-based satin finish, and I'll apply 5 coats to the top. So before you see this glow up, I just have to know, if you guys would have passed this at your thrift store, would you have grabbed this for 30 bucks? I just still can't believe that this turned into my dream table that I was thinking of buying for $2,000, just for a quick 3-day flip from the thrift store. What do you guys think of this transformation? Let me know in the comments below. So we're going from a $30 find to a side of the road freebie. I found this set of furniture on the side of the road. I snatched up the nightstands and the dresser and brought this home to see if I could make it into something beautiful and save it from the trash. Wait till you see this transformation. After giving these Curbside freebies a really good clean, I laid them on the backs so that I could apply some of my QCS strip weld just to the bases of these to get off of the failing finish that was on there. I covered it with plastic wrap and let it do its thing. I let that sit for about 20 minutes and then used some steel wool just to remove what was left over. But the joke was on me. These are actually made out of plastic and not real wood, so I had to pivot a little bit on this project. I got out my tan paint and created my own faux wood finish. If I'd have known that this was plastic, I wouldn't have stripped off the failing finish on the top of it. I could have just painted over the top, but I didn't know until all of it was removed. To create the faux wood finish, once the tan paint had finished drying, then I got out some of my Rust-Oleum cabinet glaze. This is in the color Kona, and you just apply this really liberally. You want 3 different brushes. So I've got a chip brush and then a deck staining brush, which is what I'm using here, just to do long sweeps across and pick up any extra glaze. And then you'll finish this with just a little hand broom and go back and forth on the finish until it looks exactly the way you want it to. While the bases are drying, now I can focus on the drawers of the nightstands. I gave everything a really good scuff sand just to prep it for paint. I chose the color Inkwell from Sherwin-Williams. It's a trending like black blue color this year for the body of the nightstands. Once I got the settings right on my Wagner sprayer, I applied 3 good coats for full coverage. I found some brushed bronze hardware that was just perfect for this piece, and I'll be sure to link those below. These Curbside nightstands had a major glow up, and they also turned a major profit. Be sure to stay tuned towards the end and I'll tell you what everything sold for. This next furniture flip was a crowd favorite with over 300,000 views right now. So I grabbed this China hutch off of Facebook Marketplace for 50 bucks and I had a really interesting idea. Nobody wants these China hutches anymore. You can find them all the time for pretty cheap. So I thought, why not turn this one into a kitchen island? And we did just that. I wanted this kitchen island to be movable, so I got out my yardstick, drew a straight line, grabbed my circular saw, and removed the feet. I added some leftover trim pieces that I had laying around in the garage to just help the base look a little more finished. I found these small caster wheels on Amazon and added these to the bottom. Now looking back, I wish they would have been just a little bit taller, but this is what I went with. Now that we've got the cabinet up and moving, let's go to Lowe's to pick up our paint. I used Beyond Paint on this project because it's very user-friendly and it doesn't require any sanding before you can start painting. This paint's really durable, so it's perfect for kitchen cabinets. So I knew it could withstand the test of time being used on this island. I wanted the top of this to have the look and feel of an actual kitchen countertop. Beyond Paint has a kitchen countertop refinishing kit. It's going to give me exactly the look that I'm going for. While the tan paint was still a little tacky, I took these countertop flecks and just applied a really good layer of them to ensure they stuck down to the top. I just kept sprinkling until I achieved the look that I wanted to get. Once the tan paint was dry, then I used the multi-purpose sealer and applied 2 or 3 good coats, whatever it said on this all-in-one kit, to finish off the countertop. I have been loving these brushed bronze knobs from Amazon this year, and they were the perfect finishing touch to this rolling island. I absolutely loved this quick kitchen hutch turned island flip,
It actually sold in record time on Facebook Marketplace. I think it was a little less than 48 hours and went to its new home, and she did indeed use it as a kitchen island. This flip right here is coming in close to 250 pounds. Yes, this entryway table is a stunner, but it needed a lot of work. And I think in the end, this ends up being one of my highest selling flips to date. You won't believe what this turned into. Even though this entry table was beautiful, it came with its own set of problems, of course, and the first one being this broken foot. So we drilled some new holes in the bottom of the foot and then added some dowels for extra support. I don't know if you noticed all of that failing finish on the top, but I got out my QCS furniture finish remover, sprayed a really good layer on the top of that, and covered it with some plastic wrap so it could get to work. I wanted to darken this up just a little bit, so I took a brown gel stain and applied it with a foam brush. To make sure this project had plenty of protection, I used some polyurethane top coat and applied 3 good coats. This was a Texas size project with a Texas size selling price. Be sure to stay tuned towards the end and I'll tell you what it sold for. Our final flip, well, this little beauty was buried all the way at the back of an estate sale, and I picked it up for the bargain price of $5. Yep, $5. I couldn't pass on this, and I knew exactly what I wanted to do, but it took a little effort. The first thing that needed to go, besides the dated pulls, were these really dated plastic drawer fronts. Luckily, there were some screws on the insides of the drawers, and once those were removed, these plastic fronts just came right off. Now that we've got a blank slate, let's figure out what to do with it. First, I mixed up some Bondo just to fill in any of the chips and scratches that were along the bottom, and then took my orbital sander to smooth that all out. Unfortunately, the majority of this dresser was coated in a plastic looking veneer, so that took out any options to do a raw wood look on this dresser, but luckily I had a plan B. I got out my Dremel Blueprint portable saw station and started cutting out just a ton of little trim pieces to put along the front drawers. Once I had all my pieces cut, then I took some liquid nails and started attaching all of my little half dowels to the top of the drawers. Once the liquid nails dried overnight, then I came back out with my sander and just smoothed down the tops and the bottoms of all the dowels. The bottom of this dresser was the only thing made out of real wood, so I used some gel stain in the color Dark Walnut because I knew this would really go well with the color I was going to use on this dresser. This color probably looks familiar. I used it on another flip in this video, and this is Inkwell again. It is one of my top sellers this year, so I've used it on quite a few projects, and it's going to be perfect for this trim dresser. And again, Amazon provided the most perfect hardware for this dresser. So I got out my hardware jig and measured carefully because there's no room for mistakes when you're dealing with these dowels. This $5 estate sale find had quite the glow up, and it's actually going to its new home this weekend. You all are going to have to let me know which one of these flips was your absolute favorite. Let me know in the comments below. So let's recap what we flipped so far. This kitchen table here was $30, and of course this was mine for the keeping, but I've seen these rustic looking tables on Facebook Marketplace going from anywhere from $800 up to $1,000, so I'm really happy with how this flipped turned out, and it's still going strong in my kitchen. Next, we had the roadside nightstands, which I really wasn't sure how these were going to turn out. They had a ton of damage on them. But once we started flipping them and I could see a vision, I knew this would be a good seller. And they were. We sold both these nightstands for $850. Next up, the fun China hutch turned into kitchen island. I love this flip and it was a really quick 2-day flip for me. It sold for $350. I really want to try my hand at doing this flip again. There's a few things that I would do different, but I absolutely loved how this looked, so I'm continually on the lookout for more of these buffets. Next, we had our Texas size entryway table. I loved this flip, and if I had room, this one would have stayed. But at the selling price of $1,100, I guess it was worth that sale. And last and certainly not least is the Chunky Funky estate sale dresser for $5. And like I said, this one's getting ready to go home to its new home this weekend, and it's sold for $750. Be sure to let me know in the comments below which one of today's flips you would have snapped up on Facebook Marketplace. I would love to know which one you just loved. If you haven't hit that subscribe button already, I'd love to have you stick around. Next week's flip, well, it's quite a doozy. You don't want to miss it. As usual, I'm always busy in the garage working on the next flip, so I'll see you really soon at Lemons to Lemonade Home.